My name is Maya Geiselhart, and this is my prediction on what the Earth will be like in 5 million years. I predict that 5 million years from now, the continents will be shifting closer to each other, although it will be many more millions of years until a Neopangea would occur. I also believe that as long as humans remain the dominant species of the planet, the world will continue to warm and thus melt ice caps. With warming of the planet, I also predict that further depletion of the ozone, and with that, the harmful effects of ultraviolet light to drastically increase. Because of all of this, I believe that any life on Earth will have to adapt to more harsh and hot conditions than we have had to thus far. A shift in geography. Land masses on Earth are shifting very slowly, at a rate of about several centimeters per year. It would take an estimated 250 million years for a Neopangea to be completed. In 5 million years, the continents will not nearly be fully linked together, but could be close enough to start impacting the environment. Any collision of land masses would cause new mountain ranges to form and possibly volcanoes as well. Although it would take much more than 5 million years for continents to collide, within 5 million years, islands could be colliding with each other or with the continents nearest to them. New mountains would affect the distribution of air masses, which could lower the temperature of the areas nearby. Summer is coming. Much evidence points to human activity as the cause of rising global temperature. NASA's Goddard Institute for Space Studies, or GISS, have recorded an average global temperature increase of about 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit from 1880 to 2014. About two-thirds of this warming has happened since 1975. Keep in mind, in the past it only took a 1 or 2 degree global temperature drop to cause the Little Ice Age, and a temperature rise of the same amount is enough to drastically change our life, but in an opposite direction. SBF 5 million. Chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, are one of the chemicals that caused incredibly rapid damage to the ozone layer. The ozone contains a hole about 29 million square kilometers that stretches across not only Antarctica, but also affects New Zealand and Australia certain parts of the year as it occasionally stretches towards higher latitudes. A ban of CFCs has allowed the ozone layer to repair itself. The recovery is uneven, though. Weather conditions also affect the size of the ozone hole. Also, even though climate change and ozone depletion are caused by different gases, climate change still affects the ozone layer. Worsening climate change could worsen the ozone or even hinder its process of self-repair. Get those floaties ready. Due to an increase in greenhouse gases, climate change has steadily been worsening. In the last 50 years alone, there has been a rise in the frequency of heat waves, droughts, and periods of intense rain. Warming of the planet has also caused polar ice caps to melt. Not only does this jeopardize the habitat of animals that live on the ice, but it also causes sea levels to rise. The sea level has been rising at a rate of about 3 millimeters a year since 1993. This rate is believed to still be increasing. Rising sea levels can erode coastlines and cause frequent and intense coastal flooding. With climate change, spring is already starting to come earlier all across the globe. The growing season is already about 2 weeks longer in the northern hemisphere. While an early spring and long growing season may seem favorable, it is already causing many pollinators to suffer. The time when many pollinators are alive to do their job are starting to be slightly off from when there are actually flowers and plants that need to be pollinated. Longer growing seasons also mean plants must be watered for longer periods of time, causing more water to be used to avoid an increase in wildfires. Many temperatures in hotter seasons are starting to climb higher than many plants and animals are adapted to handling. This means that many animals are starting to migrate closer to the poles, away from their indigenous areas, and creating negative effects on both their native and new ecosystems. And these are my citations.